Hello and welcome to another small LCT showcase, and today I want to go into depth about how we can clean and prepare our data to make sure our 10 tests run predictable and don't run into data related errors. So I've prepared here a small worksheet that adds the customer in the sample database application. Sample database application is one of Apex example applications, and in the test we go into this app, we log in, and then we go to the customers page, and what we can do here is create a customer. And this is here our case. So we're gonna here click create customer and fill out the form basically, and in the end create the customer. So let's try it out and see if it works. I'm gonna say run worksheet, and I'm gonna use Chromium, yes, everything as default. And the test is gonna start, and it should finish pretty fast, yes. So great, everything's done. And what we do here is we edit here the first record, Vincent Vega. And the problem is now, because this table has a unique constraint for the customer name, when we try to run this again, so I'm going to rerun it, we will see an error message that basically says, yeah, I already found one customer with that name in the database, so it won't let us actually create it. And because of that, our test will actually fail. So, as you can see here, we already get some errors here in the log output. It retries it per default 3 times, but of course, if nobody deletes this record, it still will fail. If you look at the screenshots here, we actually see the point where it failed, and it's exactly this model. We see a Vincent, and the error message is customer name must be unique. So what we can do to fix this is only to delete the Vincent Vega customer and then run it again. But this has a catch. We don't want to do it manually every time. So what we can do to make it work, make our test work every time, is we can do it automatically in our test or before our test starts. And our solution to do this is really simple. We create a package in the database that does a cleanup. So for example, here I have a data prep package and a procedure that is called reset customers, and really simple, it just deletes the one record where the last name is Vega. And we then go ahead with this package. We go to our RESTful services in the schema here. We create a new model. I call it my data prep. And in there I put a reset customers endpoint with a post method. And in the post method here in the code, I'm simply gonna call my package and say, yeah, if it works, we say the status code is 200, which means okay. And if there's an error in our package, we also want to know that. I set the status code to 500, which says internal server error. So now we have this REST endpoint prepared. We can go in our test. So I'm gonna go to the worksheet here. And let's say, yeah, it makes maybe sense to do this before each of test case runs. So I'm gonna add it to the before each case here. So if I would have multiple cases, it would be executed for every case. And here I have a step that's called send REST request. And it's perfect, is exactly this. So I need to copy the URL. This is my URL. I'm gonna set the method to post, paste the URL, and say I want a 200, an OK status. If I would get an error, a 500 for example, then the test would also fail. So, and then I say prepare test data. For example, we also have have some more options. We can send a payload or headers to the endpoint. So if you want to secure it, you can pass credentials in here or some data inputs. And we also have a small way to check if you, for example, if the REST endpoint returns JSON, you can we grab that and we can then paste a path to the response here, and then can also put a value, so we check if the REST endpoint actually sends up something we want to expect. But for our case, this is already enough. We just want to post to it and check that the status code is 200. So I'm going to click create. And I also do this as a first action, save. And I'm gonna run it now. So I guess I deleted it, so I need to actually run it 2 times, but we should see if this finished. So now we have again Vincent Vega in here, and if it worked, it should not fail now. So let's run the test again, and you can actually, yeah, it's really fast, it succeeded, but here is, we see in the log the context.post to our URL, and we expect the status code, so it's really fast, and we can actually create our run our test now again and don't get this error. This is basically great. So this is it for the small video. This is our method, how you can clean up the data before you run your tests. You can also, of course, do it afterwards and make your test more expectable and better. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any feedback or questions, make sure to put them in the comments. And thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.